make mama salute. Now we all come together as well. For tomorrow, now we go make salute.
Family, welcome back to yet another very important program where they come through the Talking Point platform. My name is Mohamed Kagbo, and today at the 5th of August 2020, and we will look at the Auditor General's report of 2018, where we present to Parliament. In the report, it states 140.1 billion loans be lost from the consolidated fund. In other words, which then check with the MDAs, ministries, departments, agency, councils, then we will account for. But why this segment is important? The segment is important because they can remind Salon people about something we're very, very crucial. It's segment for raise awareness about the area of accountability and transparency. And it also for can remind about the culture of silence, because when something can happen, we can talk. Everybody can, the momentum can there, we can talk, people like can shout. After some time, it can just die down as if to say, important. And it's very important that I make some of you, they do the follow up, at least for get things very correctly, at least for re-energize with people for no say yes, indeed, something like this may happen. But before we go further, let's try to understand first. When this current government come, His Excellency Mother be promised for deliver the country out of corruption. In fact, it declares say the country will face national security threats due to the level of corruption. And he promised. Now listen to what he began for first.
Citizens in Sierra Leone, those who indulge in corruption see it as a source of wealth, a source of privilege, and a route to or a demonstration of power that they often abuse. Much more worrying is that across the country, political leaders and ordinary citizens engage in corruption shamelessly and with arrogance and impunity. Corruption in all its forms has a cost. It has real human victims when critical infrastructure like hospitals and schools are not built, and when citizens are denied their rights of the country. For the foregoing reasons, corruption is a national security threat.
All right, very good. Now, let's first remind people about the work of the Auditor General's report. According to the 1991 Constitution, Section 119 creates the Office of Audit, the Auditor General's Office. This office in tax, just like any sober-minded businessman, that for check expenditures, which we spend, which we buy, just like for judicious utilization of your resources as a business person, as a country, as a government, as an institution, that make this thing. Lord, we know what we do, what we will not do, and how transparency and accountability in short form. So, this office is very important, and a lot of the time people will see how significant, because this office in what we able understand, able help we follow, we know the loopholes there. What's that problem be there? What's that problem not there? Waiting for the next thing, and now that make we feel say we for really support this office. Now after this office can don't do work and they submit findings to the Parliament can look over the report again and make a recommendation to government. But again, now this particular one we're going to talk about, this 2018 report, then be states according to their own findings, say 140.9 billion loans lost, were equivalent to 14 million American dollars. Now, I'll just get something very brief. Then people are not just come and guess this thing. Before the Auditor General, they go audit, then they send what they call engagement letter. The engagement letter, they inform a particular ministry, department, agency, say that they come, like a month ago, sometimes, or even more. It's so funny. at least just for make things come out in the most professional manner, for let at least then we present something like a document, like government gonna 1 million loans, which you not do with receipt, document, all the projects the owner don't use the 1 million, I wanna spend now that's the work they for. You know, just like are you able for go, are you able to go for go chase rich man, it tell and force they come. It just like police, they go for go catch criminal. It's sent to enforce letters, say it come. You know, that's so like, but at the end of the day, with all this notification, the engagement letters, when they inform them saying they come, they ask for XYZ document, yet most time, before they reach this amount, they're not able to produce them documents in the meaning that they tell them, what I don't pass guy, the documents then, they're not available, not able the money, 2-3 people and just sit on the eater. Now, it's so painful, because look at the manner in which we government officials take Salon people for granted. Now, you know, most of the time we just see people and they argue. Now, even when this report became in 2018, the supporters of the current government, who are SLPP, then say this report now APC, now then unbook this entire sport. And again, partially or in reality, yes indeed, because when this report cover the time when APC been in power, the past government, and to the very current government, because the SLPP take power in March, where this report cover from that point on to the December period with the all look at her. So in technical parts, the past government involved in this report and the current government. But this is not about APC and SLPP. When they talk about transparency and accountability, even in 2017, there was also a report on the same office which said 80 billion euros be lost. Document in there, findings in there, report recommendation, nothing will not hear nobody. You know, the manner in which Salon money can just disappear. It feels like no more. I don't even understand what part of the world will they live. If now other planets with it, or now other ecosystem with it, solar system with it, whatever. Because you know it's so painful for each and every year a huge chunk of Salon money just they lost disappear, and nobody know they for accountable. And now people and they go sign for the money there. And that made the work of the Auditor General report, Auditor General day, at least for tell Salon people, the parliamentarians, where now we elected for faithful, for talk for we say, now this time take place, so they can recommend. But, you know, it can painful. Now, I want to let you remember first, 140 billion euros. If you take 140 billion euros, you put on health. For example, for fat malaria, where they kill about 1 to 3 million people according to WHO every year. And in Salon, we get one of the highest killer in the country. Most probably, we go down conquer malaria in maybe 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, or go down reduce the death rate. Because malaria, they kill far more than even the COVID-19 would afraid. If you take 140 billion, you put on per agriculture, the bread and butter what they talk about, it will happen. And it will reduce in the country. If you take 140 billion euros, you put on per education, the standard of education in the country, it will improve. Very serious, it will improve highly. Now this morning, few people and just sit down and form cabal, the eater. And now like above this, because not to one thing, not to the first thing this happen. You know, sometimes you wonder, what side is civil society then? You know, like Nadame people like then lost faith in civil society, because the civil society, one of them will now for all the government accountable on behalf of the people in terms of transparency, accountability, good governance, and so on and so forth. But now it don't be like say like when people inform a sort of civil society now for like money making, or at least now a project where for give people a springboard for good in governance. Not actually the intent of the word itself, civil society. Now, you want to ask why parliament exists, but I can tell you people there, probably more than 70 to 80% of those parliamentarians are way there and do not get absolutely nothing. for do for salon people. Except for we take 27 to 30 million every month, they eat them for nothing, they give them free allowances, wardrobe, all that thing and they. And majority of them are for just conquer and support. That's all. Promote clan-based thinking, they don't get anything substantial with them partic out something, don't know they really that agreement and they not them partic out, I don't need the supporter. Even if not to, even if you know miss for the good of the country, what's them party introducer they go support in party lines. These are the people that we elect. These are the people that where they disappoint the country. Come on, if the Auditor General don't present a report like this to Parliament, and up till now Parliament will team up and make sure say yes, those people where also no money, when they produce receipt document and tell me how they spend their money, and they judiciously therefore pay their money, therefore all them accountable. Justice must be served. Up till now we know nothing. You know, again, somebody don't ask about the relevance of the ACC. You know, this is not a secret. A lot of people are only lost faith in the ACC. You know, not of about all people in a border. Not of about just arrest teachers or school picking or arrest people in a border. You know, these are some of the things what they talk about. You don't get a very clear concept about it. You don't get a very clear report, paper. They don't table and they don't iron and polish. They don't do all the findings. Why ACC know they go use this paper instead? Why ACC know they touch on this? This is a very clear document. They don't say the document don't read on the report. They don't present them to Parliament, and ACC know about this. Why, if really serious, government serious about fighting corruption, if really the president, like I promised alone people in the fight corruption, why they not go use their reports there? We get 2007 report, we get 2018 report, 2017 report, 2018 report about corruption, but billions of loans away people and few people and they don't eat for nothing. You know, we want for our country, we want for electricity be. We they talk, we they cry, we they grumble, we just want to be like the other country there. But at the end of the day, we they blame they come back to it. You know, like people like big people like in Ghana, they say God not a give leader there, and God not a give leader to any country except the leader with them people in it deserve. And how they deserve now based on the way, the mentality, the thinking of them people in there. And this kind of affects most of us alone. We they feel like say we civilized, we they feel like say we intelligent, we feel like say we want goodness, but we don't know how to go about it. Oh, come on. The work, you know, like for being a country, now we all business. Not to one person. And like, if you check now the other country there abroad, a government or public office, not to deal with street people, and not to all man who wish for they want for go work for government, because there is accountability there is transparency there. Or once you are in it, then you have to answer for each and every penny. The people the way they work in the office these are servants, they are not masters. Unlike we own country, people in they run for go into politics with the intent of looting the states. People in the intent they run for go into politics for go turn masters, punish people and deprive people of the basic necessity of life. What are today with the campaign about water? What today alone the campaign for water? No burn some of weight. Light today with the campaign about life. For God's sake, people that you know, whenever you sit down there and analyze and talk about salon issue, it's not the no self for beginning, you know the no self for ending, you know the no, you just move just like a free train in a supersonic speed. It's really painful. Would they call on the civil society? Would they call on the ACC? Would they call on the Parliament for make sure say them bring calm to book all of those people here where government be give money for make their work not able to produce according. I know they talk about special court where they do not to that what they talk about. They talk about this particular office report, the Auditor General's report of 2008. Because another one they come, we not know how much again. I know when let not just be like a mockery to Salon people, you understand? You know, the Fidel people, then come, then find out, say, then it's just, they like, it's like, we don't do an above case. People, no say on a thief, they do the according, come back, carry report, yes, indeed, we don't take the money, 140 billion loans, or they don't even say sorry, no apology. No statement, then do they bow, yes, I go do this, these are the things that make Salon people who just say, we forget for wake up. Lord, we wake up. Try for make sure select. We put people where they really work for the country. Because I know it's difficult. You know, anyway, these are just for Caribbean Salon people and for say money video when they talk about what they lost it, do not hear about that. 140.9 billion loans be lost, so according to the Auditor General's report. And today, we know only 1% about that. Parliament know about that all, now we elect them. Remember, the civil society, they all will not talk about. Even the ACC, they not talk about. Even the president who said they can fight about corruption, we not able to talk about that report. This is not alone. The country where you know they won't understand. Sometimes you imagine, you think, say, okay, maybe now other planet today, not to planet Earth. Maybe. Or maybe not dream the dream, not to, you know. It's difficult. Anyway, we'll tap this segment here. Just make the very short one for we remind people. And it pain some of we. Each time we see Salon people. They deep in this way. They burn their heart, they pierce their heart, because you know we country too small for let we suffer the manner in which the man suffers. You know, until then, Atapia, my name is Mohamed Kabu. So
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Talking Point platform, TTP-TV. Oh, yeah. We pledge with love and loyalty to we sweet mama salute. Now we all come together as well on for tomorrow. Now we go make salute. And it's where you there, it no matter. Sky where you be, it no matter. Anything you they do, it no matter. Oh yeah, it no matter. Now we putting up stronger one. Inside Sierra Leone, like a big quantity, where breeze not a shame. TTP-TV, Talking Points platform. Then they give you information about salute. TTP-TV, Talking Point platform. For news every day now we country salute. For education, entertainment. Political affairs, TTP-TV. We put enough Tanga one inside Sierra Leone, like a big quantity. We breeze not a shit. TTP-TV, Talking Points platform. Then they give me information about salute. TTP-TV, Talking Point platform. For news every day now we country salute. For education, entertainment, political affairs, TTP-TV.